Okay, welcome to tonight's video. First up, we're just going to have a quick look at the XJO. See where this market's likely to be heading. As you can see, this is our second attempt now at breaking 4700, 46.98 a few days ago. Almost got there today, 46.93 before closing at 46.86. So it's still definitely the little barrier that we need to get through. If we can, let's throw a couple of trend lines on and just see where we may well be heading. So let's say we use this as a trend line now. I'll just put a parallel line in on this one, maybe on that one there. There's a channel that we may quite comfortably be expected to trade in if we can break here. Interestingly, with that, it picks up these highs back here in the middle of August beautifully, and also picks up the lows back in July. So we may well trade in this channel, which could see us testing 4800 before the next leg down. We may fail here at 4700 and head back down and just stay in this consolidation period. But there's a couple of options. Hopefully we'll break that 4700 and power on. Okay, let's go to a few charts. First one I'm going to have a look at is JBH, which we looked at last night as well. I spoke about the potential swing and the strength yesterday afternoon after the interest rate news. As you can see, this is a daily. I'll just pull that up to say a 6 month daily. It gapped up quite substantially and then ran pretty well closed, not too far off its highs. I've sold most of those, but I'm just going to go to an intraday chart, give you a little bit more of a in-depth explanation. Opened down 2090 or something around there, spiked right up towards 2115, 2118 I think might have been its high, dipped to 21, made a second attempt to break that initial high and failed. So once it failed that second time, I've actually locked a few in. The ones I've kept, I've decided to keep a 21 stop on. So, and as you can see, unusually for JBH, it actually was in quite a tight range for the rest of the day. Usually it's been relatively volatile lately, but it didn't breach that 21 or the intraday highs. So I've kept a few. We'll probably get rid of what I've got left if it breaches that 21. May even look to pyramid and add if it breaches today's highs. So that's JBH. Second one I want to have a look at is BSL. Okay, that's an intraday chart. I'll go to the end of day. Right, there's a BSL chart. Looks like it's in a little bit of a trading channel at the moment. I'll put a couple of trend lines on this. It's going to be pretty rough. Be pretty liberal with these. Put one across there. So could well be trading in this channel here. And if we are, then it's not unreasonable to expect a top side of 255 somewhere around there. I'll get rid of those lines. Interesting thing with today is really strong volume, best volume since back in August. So that's pretty encouraging for this swing. I've kept some overnight and probably look to add if it can kick on and break that 230 resistance from today. My stops now back down to break even, so I got them at 227 today. I certainly won't sell the rest for less than that unless it gaps down overnight. But BSL, pretty encouraging swing on decent volume. Another one I want to have a look at is IGO. Kevin posted a chart this morning on the IGO, on the blog on IGO, and as you can see, it opened at 6, which wasn't above the high from the previous day, so it was still in that range. Broke that high of 610, which was the swing entry, or if you want to be a little bit more conservative, you could wait till that 16, and it powered through both of them. So, and again, on really nice volume today, best volume for quite a few days. We'll just have a look at the intraday one there. There's a few days work. So it gapped up a little, but still had some intraday resistance to get through, 610, and then that one back there at 616, and powered through both of those quite well. Ended up closing up at 633, so a really nice run there, not closing too far off its highs at all, and poised maybe for another run back up at these 12-month highs back up here. So yeah, IGO, a really nice one there today. I actually didn't trade IGO at all today. I'm sure Kevy was all over it, but I was in enough to not be able to focus on that one. NWH is another nice swing. I think I called this one in the Twitter. And pretty simple entry with this one. Break of the candle from Monday was 171.5. Opened at 171 and then closed at 174.5 after reaching 177. I've locked half of those in purely because of the scalpy nature of how I trade, and felt like I was pretty much getting into too many positions. Didn't want to be absolutely too long heavy overnight. I am long heavy, but I always tend to make a habit of lightening positions towards close, so NWH was one that I sold a few of. But a break of that 77 intra high, and again we may see that power up towards the 184, 85 in recent highs. Just pull a 2-year chart or something up, and you can see, we'll go weekly. On the weekly chart, we've got res at 188 from back in April, and then further res from back in January of 216. So there's still a bit of upside if this market gets a wriggle on and NWH can keep powering. But I've kept a very small position in that one for now. Alright, I'll just have a look at a couple of spec plays as well before we finish. First one's going to be THR. That's a daily. You can see it's pretty thinly traded. That's a yearly chart. Pretty thinly traded, but with some really decent volume kicking in the last couple of weeks. So it ran to 3 cents back at the end of September, dipped quite substantially down to 1.8 actually, so it gave a fair bit back on, probably you could call that reducing volume, and then the swings kicked in and it's actually broken through this 3 cent resistance today. Would like to see a little bit more volume kick in tomorrow to confirm this swing, but it certainly looks a chance. One thing I wanted to show you with THR, and this is kind of applies to so many of the charts at the moment. Like if you look at them on a 3-month basis or a 6-month basis, they're all looking pretty overbought and pretty strong. But let's go to a weekly chart for 5 years, for example. There's a 5-year chart for THR, and I'm certainly not saying we will get back to the heady days of 2007, 2008, but it's a long way still from its 40 or 50 cent highs, so there may still be quite a decent upside in stocks like THR and other resource stocks if resource prices can keep moving to the upside. And again, very interestingly, more volume in these last 3 weeks than it's had for a long time. In fact, pretty much more volume than since back in those 2007 bull days. So one to watch in my opinion. And the last one we're going to have a look at is AJM. There's a 5-year weekly, but being a short-term trader, weeklies and 5-year periods are not normally something I talk in. There's a 12-month chart, just starting to swing. Again, a little bit more volume in the last month than we've seen for a while. Just starting to look like it wants to swing here. It had a run to 18 cents back at the beginning of September. I'm looking at stocks like this basically because I'm trying to find stocks that haven't run hard yet, because so many of the spec end plays have just gone ballistic. So I'm looking for plays that maybe have some decent upside that haven't gone too crazy just yet. This one came up on a scan. Recent res was 15, which it's just poked its head above today. We might just go to 3 months or something like that. It's just poked its head above the 15 today. Best volume in 3 months. Future res, obviously we've got 16 here, and then maybe 17 to 18 as well, but certainly looks a chance to kick on given the volume today. I'll go back to 12 months again. Longer term, there's resistance around the 25. I would be very surprised if I'm still in it by 25 given my short term nature, but if we can give this little high at 18 a shove in the next couple of days, it may keep me in for a little while longer. Alright, well there's half a dozen charts to keep you occupied, and like I said last time, if there's any charts that you'd like me to have a look at, just let me know on the Twitter or on the blog or here, and I'll try and cover them in future videos. Thanks.